family, it's Nikki White, and I'm so very excited that you tuned in again to another edition of my little vlog. So, I just came back from Jamaica with my husband. We won a trip from the Steve Harvey show. I'm not sure if some of you guys saw that, but we appeared on the segment called I Love My Man, but he's just not romantic. And it is true, he's not romantic. But ever since Steve's advice, my husband and I have been surfboard, bringing on that wood, bringing on that wood. And he is using that honey, ooh. So, coming back from Jamaica, what a beautiful, marvelous, oh my God. The whole time I was there, I couldn't help but to just lay out on the beach. The water just does something to me. That's my favorite place in the whole wide world, other than, being in the presence of God. But my favorite place in the whole world is like at the beach, and I do a lot of thinking there. So I was thinking when I was on the beach, what did I want to share with you guys when I came back from my trip? It's not that the drinks were good. It's not that the food was amazing. It's not that the nightlife in Jamaica or the Sandals Resort was phenomenal. All of that was what it was. But I couldn't help but to want to share this with you guys, and that is be limitless. What do I mean by that? I think, having that experience and being exposed to a life or a culture of people beyond where I was here in Georgia, here in my small little area of life, and being exposed to something greater, something beyond me, something miles away. That level of exposure caused me to really realize how much we can limit ourselves and not think like beyond where we are. We say this all the time, this is God's green earth. But why are you only occupying or exploring a small portion of it? So I want to tell you guys, be limitless. Don't limit yourself to just one area of town, one city of the country, one city in the state, one state in the country, one part of the world. Set beyond yourself where you are and set a goal to do something beyond that will expose yourself. Because when you expose yourself, you expand your mind, you expand your thinking, you expand your appetite for more. I know a lot of people are like, I'm content, I'm good, I'm a homebody, I ain't got to travel, or I don't have a lot of money to travel. No, let me tell you something. Yes, you do. Everybody listening to this video, if you're listening to this video, God sent you to this clip because you do have the money. Whether you want to look at your budget or not, to set aside your vacation time, or say, I want to go to Paris. Groupon, I love Groupon. Groupon has trips to Paris and beyond. If you look at your budgets and take into account what you spend, if you're a person that like to eat out a lot, cut back on eating out a lot. That extra $25 a week or whatever can go towards your savings, and it can help you plan your trip that will expose you. So you may say, you may be somebody that is in fashion. I'm in fashion. I love fashion. I mean, not me. I'm just saying it's you. And, like the fashion capital of the world is like Paris. Well, if Paris is your dream, your dream to visit that area, then you take it upon yourself and you expose yourself. You don't wait for somebody to give you that, because it may never be given to you. You're going to have to do it yourself and expose yourself. Save up your money. Go after your dream. If your dream is to go to Trinidad, Tobago, or the Philippines, or when I was stuck in New York, my husband and I, we got stuck in New York during the snowstorm, and we were stuck in New York, and we went to this fine dining restaurant, an Italian restaurant, and the owner came up to the table and he just started having conversation with us, and he was from Croatia. My husband's in the other room, and he was just telling me about his country. He was telling us about his country, and I'm like, oh my God, it sounds so amazing. And he's like, when you come, I want you to, if you should plan a trip, here's my number, here's my email, I want you to stay at my property. How amazing is that? That just by being stuck in New York, I met a guy who is from a different land, a different culture, and he has property, whether it's hotel or whatever, that he invited us to. Now, I just came back from Jamaica, and now I'm setting myself up to visit other countries. You know, the first thing you have to do is get a passport. Don't say you want to visit these places or you want to explore and you want to travel and you don't have a passport. There are other destinations outside of the U.S. that you could experience if you just stop limiting yourself. So one thing I would say is cut your budget. Look at the things that you're spending. You know, when I was in undergrad and I was a single mom before I got married, I did without cable for 5 years. And what that allowed me to do was not only focus on, you know, my homework and my studies, but when I got home, it helped me to focus on my daughter's studies and help her read and develop her, you know, her appetite for learning. And it also cut my budget where I didn't have to work a lot of hours. I was a hairdresser, and, you know, 7 people would get me through the week, and I would meet my budget with just 7 people because I cut some things out of my budget. That's what I'm telling you. Cut some things out of your budget, out of your life, so that you can expose yourself and gain some exposure in your life to think bigger, dream larger. You won't be able to see the fullness and to grasp what you can achieve until you realize that there's a world outside of the world that you live in. That's why I tell my daughter all the time, she's 10. When I was 15, I was very suicidal. You know, coming up in a family I was raised in a family that, quote unquote, you know, I wasn't blood related to. My mom didn't raise me, and I'm still searching for my dad. And coming up in that family, I just was very, very suicidal. So I often share my stories with my daughter, who is 10. And I tell her, you know, baby, you don't ever want to deal with committing suicide or suicidal thoughts. There is nothing in the world that should cause you to want to take your life, because life gets better the more you live it. And the more you live life with a positive mindset, the better life will get. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Be limitless in your approach to your goals, your dreams, your life ambitions. And one of the ways you can be limitless is to expose yourself to a greater level of understanding of life, and therefore a better understanding of you and the world around you. God put you on this earth for you to explore it and to do what you have been purposed to do. But you, my friend, family, you must begin by being limitless. Say to yourself, I'm not going to limit myself to this one job. I'm going to explore my talents. I'm going to explore my other options. I'm not going to limit myself any longer. Because my friend, once you realize that life is just that dash between your birthday and your end date, you are running the wind. And you will begin to see life bigger than your bills, bigger than your problems, bigger than your issues, your insecurities. You will see life at a whole nother level. And I think that's what God really intends for us. When he placed us in the Garden of Eden, and he says to tend to it, to take care of it. You know, God spoke to me, and he told me this years ago when I was broken, and I wanted family, and I wanted a relationship with mom, and who is my dad? You know, he spoke this to me. He said, you have family all over the world. You just haven't met them yet. And so I say to you, you're my family. I haven't met you. We're chatting together. We're doing life together. And family, when I leave from this place where I am in my little city, and I expose myself to another culture, I meet my other family on the other side of the world. And I don't know about you, but it just does something to my heart. And I want you to experience that level of exposure. So start today. Look at your budget. Plan your goal. Expand your reach. And expose yourself to a limitless life. Alright? I see you next time, family. Be blessed.